diverse, booming, and inclusive. Well, New Yorkers, we think we know a lot about everything, and we don't. But we do know a lot about how it is to think through the challenges of growth, and also what growth looks like after a period of decline. I hope that we maybe are able to bring to all of you some lessons from the future. Whether it's about housing policy, it's about how you balance jobs with housing, how do you think through transportation and placemaking to really be a more inclusive and diverse city. We live in terrible times around the globe, and cities like New York and Toronto really need to be the beacons, not just for our own citizens, but for the hundreds of thousands of people who want to continue to come to our cities. And I hope that, I have a few thoughts, particularly in the housing arena, which at the end of the day is really the number one issue for everybody. Because if you don't have a safe and affordable place to live, you don't really have time to worry about your creativity, your education. So I think the building block of any really healthy city is having a healthy housing stock. A city 50 years from now should be a place that is not necessarily totally futuristic. It should incorporate the greatest parts of futurism and innovation, making healthcare and jobs and education and people who want to work in the gig economy a city that has figured out how to adapt technology and innovation to the benefit of their citizenry, while still also respecting and celebrating the past. A great city 50 years from now is not going to be a city that's, run over every single neighborhood, right? You want a city that has diverse neighborhoods and sort of has funky pockets that are not necessarily all similar to each other. But we'd also be making a huge mistake if we didn't want to actively embrace what technology, innovation, and growth have to offer us. Because at the end of the day, if targeted and harnessed, that can create opportunity for, as I say, education, health, living, creativity, becoming a more human and full person. And a great city will figure out how to do that. We're pretty excited about some of the new models of housing, particularly in the shared or sort of common housing space. It's become very popular in a millennial sort of techie bro kind of world. And the question for us is, can we begin to think about those changing demographics and how people are now living in different ways, more collectively, and use that also as a way to provide more affordable housing, right? It doesn't just have to be for like hipster, millennial, trendy people. Can we figure out the way to adopt a lot of what's happening naturally to an affordable housing model? I think we're also really excited about giving nonprofit groups and more community stakeholders access to resources so that they can buy property in their neighborhoods and be more proactive in terms of some of the challenges that the neighborhoods are facing. All too often, as you know, the deck is stacked against community-based organizations because they simply don't have resources, but they're the ones who know what's happening on the ground in their neighborhoods, and they want to be part of the renaissance or the resurgence, but they can never compete with the big developers. And so I think thinking about how we can really provide capital and assistance to nonprofit groups as neighborhoods change is really important.